Welcome to the full stack SDET channel. So in this video, we are going to talk about like what are the different types of XPath. Basically, there are two different types of XPath. The first one is absolute XPath, and the second one is relative XPath. So absolute XPath is like it contains the complete path from the root element to the desired element, which we are trying to inspect. And in absolute XPath starts with like a single forward slash, and any minor changes on the DOM makes the XPath invalid since we are traversing from one element to the other web element or the one tag to the another tag, right? Since this is the example of absolute XPath, and over here, let's say there are two different IDs. Uh, IDs for the div tag is second, right? So this is the index for this div is second, and let's say we are changing this index to 4, then that time it is going to fail, right? And since we are depending on the second index, right? So that is why this is not so reliable while working with the automation script. So basically we mostly make use of relative XPath, in which like it does not start from the root element. It actually starts from the middle of the HTML DOM structure, and it always begins with a double forward slash, right? And it is less brittle, and whenever there is a minor change, it does not get impacted much, because it is not starting from the root element. It is starting from the middle of the HTML DOM structure. And this is the example, like relative XPath will be always starting with double forward slash followed by the tag, then we have add the rate and attribute name and the value, right? So let's go to the HTML DOM of any website and try to inspect them. All right, so we are on this Swaglight's demo website, in which like we are trying to inspect this username field using the absolute XPath, right? So we already now we know that absolute XPath starts from the root element, right? So we can say HTML is the root tag here, right? HTML, then we have body, and from body, like you can go to the div. From body we can go to the div, and if we expand this, since our element is inside this div, right? So let me try to inspect, and let me try to expand all this. So we are inside this div, then there is one more div, right? Div, and there is one more div, and then we have form, right? Then we have this input tag, and now we can see like there are three different input tags over here. And you can see like if I click on this second, it goes to the password, and third one is for login button, right? But we are targeting to perform the send keys on the username, so for us like it is on the first one, right? So we can select, we can pass in the index s1. If you're targeting to perform the send keys on password field, then we can pass the index s2. And if you're targeting to perform the click on login button, then we can pass the index s3. So this is the simple structure for like a absolute XPath, where like it always starts with like a single forward slash, and you can see like after each tag there is a single forward slash. And this is not so like reliable, and you can say like we don't use much, because uh, any changes over, let's say tomorrow this div is getting removed, then then this is going to fail, right? So this is not so reliable, and it actually is not much in use, right? So we mostly make use of like absolute XPath in some of the cases, but mostly we depend on like the relative XPath, right? In the case of relative XPath, we have to use double forward slash, right? Double forward slash, then we have to pass in the input. So let me put this inspect option over here, and then we can see that tag is input here, right? So I would say input at the rate, then we have ID, right? So I'll say at the rate ID is equal to user name, right? So now it is matching. Similarly, we can pass this XPath inside the script, and we can automate this username text field. And also like if you want to target this password text box, then we can pass the value as password, right? And it will enter the text inside this password text box. Similarly, it is going to work for login button as well, right? So this is like relative XPath. Over here, we are not depending much on the any other tags, right? We are directly checking for this input tag inside this whole HTML DOM, whose ID is password. So there will be only one matching node, as you can see here. But if it is not finding you the single matching node, then you can try to use some other attribute in this XPath. So this is relative XPath. So in order to copy this XPath, right, you can just right click and go to copy XPath. It will give you this XPath, right? So double forward slash asterisk at the rate ID is equal to password. Asterisk means like it can take any tag over here. So by default, it will select asterisk. And similarly, we can copy the absolute XPath. Just say right click and copy, and then copy full XPath. So this will give you absolute XPath for like this password field. So this is the absolute XPath, right? So over here you can see like there is a single forward slash um, between each of the tags that we are traversing, and it is going up till the required web element. But in the case of like relative XPath, it always starts with double forward slash and then the tag name or star. That means we can take any tag name at the rate of attribute like ID and equal to password. This is the most reliable in terms of like automation, since any changes in the HTML DOM structure, it is not going to impact much in our script. So this is mostly used in automation testing. All right, so that's all in this video. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.